I'm Tom Pavinsky. I'm the chair of the Environmental Shade Tree Commission in Asbury Park. I've been the chair for about 17 or 18 years. And over that time, we have tried to create a variety of beautiful and nutritious spots in the town. Right now, I'm in what's called the community farm. We built this in 2010. And the whole point of it was to create a garden space where people in town could rent a bed and they could grow their own vegetables. And over time that became a bit problematic because we didn't have fences and it was vandalized a couple of times, so we decided we needed to put fences up. And then one of our commissioners, Russell Lewis, who's the owner and operator of Watermark, said, you know, if you guys would be willing to give all the food away free instead of renting the beds to different people, Watermark will underwrite the cost of running a garden. We talked about it, everybody agreed, and so we did. So we put up a fence, we added 9 more beds. We now have 24 raised beds here, and we grow everything from springtime crops like lettuces, peas, and onions, and so forth. Right through the summer, we're doing potatoes now, we're doing collards, we're doing tomatoes, amazing tomatoes, peppers, and okra, and Swiss chard, and things along those lines. This past year, Nancy Fasano, one of the friends of the Asbury Park Environmental Shade Tree Commission, offered to be the manager. She has knowledge beyond all, and she has a good number of volunteers, of women who come and guys who come, and they work here just about every single day. Last year, we put out an appeal for money because we wanted to build a greenhouse, because we were buying all of our small plants from most places to plant during the course of the year, and that's expensive. And Nancy said, if we can have a greenhouse, we can start from seed. So everything in this garden is started from seed, and that's next to no expense at all. And the DPW stepped in. One of their carpenters, who's now retired, Doug, he built us a shed for all of our equipment, and then he even built us a farm stand. And again, that was paid for by Watermark. That is where we distribute all the food, all this, the flowers, the vegetables, every Saturday morning from 9 to 11, it's all given away free. People don't have to pay for it. We don't ask them to tell us how rich they are, how poor they are, how much you need. You come, you need food, we will give it to you. And the women took it even a step further. We used to use plastic bags that we were getting from ShopRite or Wegmans and so forth. They started making bags out of cloth. So the people come now with their bags that they've had, so they're reusable. So we're trying to keep this as organic as we possibly can, and it really has succeeded. So thanks to Watermark for getting us started like this, thanks to the city for allowing us to do this, and thanks to so many people who donate and come and work here, and it's been a great success. We're standing in front of Merchants Park. Merchants Park used to be buildings, but years ago they got burned down and they were left to be nothing. And they turned into a kind of a lot where some stray trees grew, and it was just empty. And the merchants in town decided it's not a very welcoming look. And so they all got together and raised money. And they asked the Shade Tree Commission if we could work together with them to plant a garden. And so we had a whole bunch of trees, about 7 or 8 of them removed because they were practically dead already. And then we added topsoil and we started planting. And everybody kept saying, where are you getting the money from? And I said, well, we're getting it from the merchants. They raised over $5,000. And all that money got planted into the ground here. And it has become probably the premier spot for people who come into Asbury Park in terms of the beauty of the spot and the welcoming feeling. The garden is made up of trees, shrubs, plantings, a number of native plants and others as well. And the whole point of it is so that from early spring, we have it filled with daffodils and tulips and crocus and so on. Right through spring and summer and autumn, there's always something in bloom. Right now, if you look around, you'd see the black-eyed Susans, and they're just filling up a lot of different spaces. Earlier on, we had beach plum. We're going to soon be having the southern magnolia here in bloom and the crepe myrtles as well. So it's a variety of things that we have. We're trying now to create a reason for people to come to the garden, and most of the reason is to help maintain them. You know, creating a garden is one of the easiest things you can do. Maintaining it is one of the hardest things you can do, because you have to spend practically the entire growing season weeding and mulching and watering and so forth. When we first built this garden, we didn't have a watering system here, and it was really very hard. It took hours and hours to try to water it. So we decided to put in our own irrigation system, and thanks to Brando's, the restaurant right behind me, they offered to allow us to use their water supply. So we all got together and we dug and we trenched and we put pipes together, and the garden has taken off as a result of that. And Brando's continues to support the garden that way as well. So we're really very grateful to them. This is the Gratitude Garden. The whole point of gratitude is because of our first responders. With COVID-19 and so many people putting their own lives on the line to help all of us stay healthy and safe, the Environmental Shade Tree Commission decided that we need to do something to honor them. And so we took a big space of grass, which was really nothing more than crabgrass, and we decided this might be a good place to do it. We put out a request for donations, and the money came. We had the DPW come and skim all the grass off. We then put 30 yards of topsoil. Then we did all the plantings, which cost us a couple of $1,000 just for the plantings. And we have a little over, I think, 90 or so plants here. And then we mulched it. We wanted to make sure that this was not just a garden to look at. We wanted people to actually be a part of the garden. So we found pavers that were just sitting doing nothing in one of the lots that the DPW uses, and we asked if we could have them. And so we created a semicircular design with large pavers so people could walk all the way around it. But then we realized that it still keeps them away from the garden, so we created small pathwork. And people can walk throughout the entire garden and enjoy the flowers. Just about every garden that we grow has perennials. Perennials are plants that you can put in the ground 1 year and they'll come back the second, third, and some may even come back the fourth year. And then some will stay on for much longer than that. We don't use annuals, which are the kind you put in the spring. They go through the summer and they die in the autumn. First of all, because they're expensive, and two, because they're taking off a lot of work to deal with. So we always put perennials in our gardens. I guess we've tapped into a spirit in Asbury Park of generosity and volunteerism, but it has really just expanded and grown here. People are just too willing to give up their time, to give up their treasure, and work really hard. The City Council, they have been so supportive. The DPW, they're there. They're always there. So there's that kind of spirit. And so it's added not only to the beauty of the town, but I think it's added to the morale of the town. People feel welcome, they feel safer. And also, we've brought nature back into the city. We have all these wonderful perennials, so we have butterflies and bees and all kinds of other insects, beneficial insects, that are really helping the ecology of our town. But that's the kind of stuff that we want to make sure happens, that nature in its most original natural form comes here, because I think that brings out the good nature in us. This doesn't.